Hello folks, this is Steve AB4Yo. Oh, I've had a wonderful day. So I'm sitting here, nothing in this episode is a promotion, nor is it a recommendation. I get the window open. The last of summer is coming in the window. You can hear the muscle cars on 64 out there. See, when I was a teenager, a muscle car was a Ford 427. With an engine like that, you can blow up the transmission or the rear end. So anyway, I'm looking at slashdot.org a few minutes ago, and I found something that caught my eye. IronNet, founded by former NSA Director, National Security Agency. Do you think somebody who was the head of the National Security Agency is likely to be a cybersecurity genius? Or do you think he's a super bureaucrat? So this is from TechCrunch. Now that's one of the websites that has articles about, see, Slashdot abstracts what's being, unlike TechCrunch. IronNet, a once promising cybersecurity startup, why did I pause? If you've been following, you know that I'm interested in the cybersecurity stuff, believe in computer, whatever, and I'm just amazed at how many Israeli companies, because I spent 4 years in Israel, 4 years in one war. Oh, yes, this past Sunday was Yom Kippur, the 50th anniversary of the start of the 1973 Yom Kippur War. So I've been interested in Israel and security of various kinds. IronNet, a once promising cybersecurity startup founded by a former NSA director and funded by cyber and defense investors, has shuttered and laid off its remaining staff following its collapse. I'm going to remind you again, if you go back and look through my videos, how many Israeli companies are in various specialized aspects of cybersecurity, and how many of their people up front are not former directors of the National Security Agency or Shin Bet or whatever, but instead were in the Israeli Army Cyber Command, Cybersecurity Command, recruited from specialized courses in high school and earlier. Why am I making this contrast? Because the people who head those Israeli companies, for the most part, have been eating and breathing cybersecurity since they were teenagers. Now we need to find out who this former NSA big shot was and see if he was known for eating, breathing, and sleeping, dreaming cybersecurity nonstop, or if he's a bureaucrat. Now, why am I being so critical? In a regulatory filing published Friday, today's Monday, IronNet's president and chief financial officer, Cameron PFORR. I haven't looked who he is. Cameron Farr, President, Fidelis Cybersecurity, Senior Calling Officer, focused on the data center and telecommunications sectors, responsible for leading capital raising and merger and acquisition activities. Now over here it says, directly from IronNet, Cameron Farr is the president of IronNet. He brings a wealth of financial and operational experience and oversees all aspects of the company's operational and finance function, not security function, including sales, marketing, accounting, financial planning, tax, and investor relations. There he is. So he was obviously with this other company called Fidelis Cybersecurity. Now, I'm not straying. This is the way I break things apart. And here's one called Side Decked About Us. Side Decked Core Values, Integrity, Trust, Long-Term Thinking, Collaboration, Innovation. Yeah, but what do? Our team. Bierman, Ritz, Hudek, and that Christoph, the technical consultant, and he's young. He's Ukrainian. 7 years of experience working for international clients around the world, multiple certifications, information system security. Yeah. He's Warsaw, Polish. Warsaw. Well, no, I had a friend from the Ukraine when I worked for that internationally known, internationally operating IT company. He got one of his degrees in Poland, but he was from the Ukraine. Oh, he went to the Silesian University of Technology. Where do you suppose that is? Somewhere in the Balkans? Excuse me for straying. You know, I let my mind wander. Polytechnic Slashka, Silesian. Oh, this is, I'm sorry. That's one of the regions of Poland. Excuse me. I've forgotten see, they know I'm an English speaking. You see? Let's see what languages they have. See, Polish. PL. Polish. There it is in Polski. Polski is not a derogatory term. That's the actual name of the Polish language. Filmy Polski. In my hometown, the two Lithuanian brothers that had owned the local movie theater used to play Polish language movies on Wednesday evening because of the large Polish immigrant people in my hometown, amongst my many, many friends growing up. Silesia is a certain region of Poland. Got it. I should have pronounced it the way I did when I was growing up. So this guy has moved around, is what we're really getting down to, because he used to apparently be here. Cloud services, cloud products, okay? Now, just to pick up a different industry, the one that closed here a month ago, the chief financial officer had bounced around in a number of different companies, and then he was hired by a private investment group that bought that company here and then rented it back to the people, and they was in some kind of trouble, and they sent him to be the first chief financial officer, and then he also became basically involved in trying to get the manufacturing back in shape. Actually on the production floor every day trying to figure out better ways of doing things, the chief financial officer. Some people have a lot of brains. Now, why am I going on about this? The current president of IronNet, that's just filed that they're going out of business, has bounced around in a number of industries, apparently not okay. Oh, look at this. Linda Zeitcher named IronNet CEO. Hang on. What's the date on this? Linda Zeitcher, however you pronounce it, named CEO. Cameron Flohr promoted to president. That chairman of technology investment firm. This is the first time I'm reading this stuff. I'm wandering around, but I'm brainstorming it. I'm keeping in mind what happened here locally with that company that suddenly closed, but it had previously been one of the largest upholstered furniture manufacturers in the United States. And didn't start 5 years ago. It was long in the industry, suddenly is closed. And then I did a couple of videos of looking at what had been happening like in the last 5 to 10 years. It doesn't matter what the industry is, folks. When they go into collapse, the stories seem to be very similar. So let's pick up this. July 13th, 2023. July 13th. Today is October 2nd. August, September, two and a half months ago, she comes in. Now, wait a minute, what's her background? This is the big cybersecurity. Oh, we haven't gone to their homepage yet. Hang on. She's the chairman of technology investment firm C5 Capital and a former executive at Microsoft, has been appointed CEO of IronNet, which has a New York Stock Exchange acronym of IRNT. Remember, I'm not promoting anything. She succeeds former IronNet CEO Keith Alexander, who will transition to the role of non-executive chairman. They're booting him out, but he's going to show her the ropes a little bit because they're going to sweeten it. In a move resulting from the cybersecurity company's take-private deal, Klausner Furniture got bought up by a private equity group in New York. And then that company allowed the people who had previously been running the company to keep running it and use the plant, provided they paid a monthly rent to that company. And apparently they needed a money line, and the reason why the company suddenly closed is that the private investment group, equity group, suddenly said, we're not giving you any more money to keep going. So they had to fire everybody. So let's pay attention to this. Different industry, I got a feeling the story's the same. Who will transition to a non-executive chairman, that means he'll show her the ropes, in a move resulting from the cybersecurity's take-private deal. They're losing money. Somebody thinks they've got an opportunity by buying them up. Take private, which, remember, they had a New York Stock Exchange, so they were a publicly traded company. This is the first time I'm reading it. C5 Capital, Cohen Circle Venture, IronNet said Wednesday. She's a board, never mind. She's an exceptional leader with a background in cybersecurity and other industries who will help us drive IronNet's collective defense platform forward. This is July, 2.5 months ago. Drive the collective defense platform, that's their product, forward and allow us to continue to protect governments, sectors, and companies against the cyber criminals and nation-state adversaries who are taking advantage of a legacy siloed approach to cyber defense, says Alexander, a retired U.S. Army general. And IronNet added Cameron Floor, Chief Financial Officer of IronNet, has assumed additional duties. Remember, like that guy who went down onto the floor working at Klausner to try to get the production back into what it should be, or what it needed to be is a better way to say it, has assumed additional duties as president. And then they go on about other. It's the first time I'm seeing it. Now watch. Watch. IronNet. I'm going to take you to their home page for a moment. Now remember, they've just said they're going out of business. In a regulatory filing published Friday, IronNet said the company has ceased all business activities as it prepares for Chapter 7 bankruptcy, effectively liquidating the company's remaining assets to pay its remaining debts. I'm assuming that's the original founder. Okay, so they're quoting from this article. Effectively liquidating the company's remaining assets to pay its remaining debts. The Virginia-based IronNet was founded in 2014 by a retired four-star General Keith Alexander, U.S. Army. Soon after he departed as the former director, the guy who founded it got out to be replaced apparently by the former director of the National Security Agency during the biggest leak at the time of government secrets by former contractor Edward Snowden, who lives in Moscow. IronNet provided corporations and government agencies. See, in Israel, they cultivate junior high and high school kids that have got brilliant minds, and because there's a national service requirement, a draft, that unless you have a medical or some kind of reason not to serve, when you turn basically 18 or so, finish high school, you must serve, I don't remember, it's 2 years or 3, I think it's 3 years, in the Israel Defense Forces of one kind or another. Or like a friend that I met in intelligence, but nonetheless it's national service. And then you remain in what's called miluim, reserves for yearly call-up until age 45. I'm talking about Israel. So a lot of those cybersecurity companies in Israel, those people who founded them were in the cybersecurity command of the Israel Defense Forces. Recruited from high school, spotted in high school. Not they were big generals. Why am I doing this? Repeating again. Have I pinpointed the flaw? It's a different mentality. That one is based on who's got the smarts. This one's got who knows who. Yeah, he used to be a big general in the army. Does he know anything? Or does he know how to lick ass? IronNet provided corporations and government agencies. Yeah, we'll get government contracts. We'll help the Army. When I worked for the internationally known internationally operating site IT company, every now and then for our products we'd get a thing from somebody in like the Army, and they're starting a new website and they're using our product to base it on that. And then they ran a security software tool that they were required, and it told them that there were certain things that needed to be corrected, but the people who were in the Army didn't know what the hell it was even talking about, so they'd call us and ask us what it meant. Of course, that was a long time ago. That was in the 2000s. It's different today. Everybody understands about that, right? Kids with all their iPhones don't even know what folders are, or actually know what files are. Directory structure, don't know what it is. We're so advanced. To defend against cyber threats and using large data sets and analytics to automate threat intelligence. Well, that's what the Israelis offer, all those Israeli companies. Its other products were designed to protect critical infrastructure. To date, the company has raised more than $400 million in funding, including $78 million by C5 Capital. Oh, those are the ones that's why C5's involved in calling the shots about who's going to come in and actually oversee the liquidation. It's because those are the people who paid them the money, gave them the money. And federal loans from the Small Business Association during the COVID. What? And touted customers like the media and financial giant Thomson Reuters. IronNet also received $5.6 million in federal loans granted to small businesses during the COVID-19. Why would they need that? They're big shots. They have all these contracts. They got all this C5 Capital funding. Why would they need a small business loan? Why would they need any kind of loans? These geniuses are taking over, aren't they? They're elbowing everybody else out because they're geniuses. Former NSA. Really? Let me show you something. I did this. I'm going to show you the search I did. Criticism of IronNet cybersecurity. There's a website known as Glassdoor. You want to find out what people who work for a company think of the company? Go to Glassdoor. I'm not promoting anything. IronNet cybersecurity reviews. There are 215 reviews. Apparently 437 contributions about salaries. Oh, before we do that, this is the IronNet website. They're going to shut it down. Do you see anything on this page to indicate top 5 cybersecurity pain points: alert fatigue, operational efficiencies, automated threat intelligence, technology integration and optimization, cybersecurity at scale, collective defense for critical industries, financial services, defense, healthcare, public sector, energy and utility, space. Learn more. The IronNet Collective Defense Platform. Iron Defense. But wait a minute, they got one here called Iron Dome. No. That's Israel's actual missiles and radar and computer systems that defend Israel from rocket attacks almost every week. As a matter of fact, among the first of the Iron Domes to be put in, and arrows, in cooperation with the United States, was in a field that I used to irrigate cotton plants in. Yeah, but that's a few years ago. I saw the news item and I recognized where it was. Oh, look at these big names, and here's a guy here going to... Do you see anything here to tell you that they're about to close the doors? I don't see anything. Why IronNet? Use cases, customer testimonials, industry recognition, da-da-da-da-da. NBH Bank draws on IronNet behavioral analytics for advanced threat detection. So how come they're going out of business? It says they filed for bankruptcy. Why are they going out of business? Let's go to Glassdoor. Top review highlights by sentiment. Excerpts from user reviews not authored by Glassdoor. Pros. We don't need to go any further than this. Pros. Good benefits. 21 reviews. Great people to work with. That's colleagues. 20 reviews. Now, I clicked on a down thing over on the pros side. Excellent leadership that cares about the growth and happiness of their people. 11 reviews. Great work-life balance. 9 reviews. Now, do you see the red? Cons. Let's read it together. All I did is I saw this and I knew I needed to make. Let's find out why they're filing for bankruptcy. I'm betting we'll find the answer right here. The company pivoted by deep cuts to its workforce 3 times in the last 2 years with barely any notice. What does that mean? What did I say about the poster furniture manufacturer in this county did a month ago? They just suddenly announced that you're all fired. Suddenly. No pre-warning of any kind. They locked the gates to the parking lots. The gates are still locked. I passed them today coming home. The company pivoted by deep cuts to its workforce 3 times in the past 2 years with barely any notice. The latest and greatest layoff that was just announced and gave people a couple of hours notice in 6 reviews. The transparency between the CEO. Oh, wait a minute. What's the third one? 3 reviews. Absolute incompetent executive leadership. Now remember, these are people who you could say they're unhappy, or maybe they were seeing what was coming. Take your choice. Company has normal issues dealing with changing economic environment. However, this is the first time I'm reading it. However, the first thing you can count on is the leadership from C-suite to frontline management is focused on success of its people and very self-aware of themselves. So what this person just said is that's what you would expect when the company's in trouble, but what they said was, so we've got 2 different things that are saying exactly opposite, but they're under the contra view. Communication is basically non-existent between leadership and the people that actually do the work to try to make this company successful. We can't read the rest of the review unless we log in and have a membership with Glassdoor. I'll tell you what I think. Now you could say, well, it wouldn't matter what company you go to, you would see something similar at Glassdoor. So back to TechCrunch. On the face of it, the cybersecurity sector is doing just fine. Demand for cybersecurity products remains high as cyber attacks continue to blight both public and private sector business, and investor enthusiasm for all things cyber-related remains strong. But while many expect the cybersecurity industry to weather the current economic storm better than most, not now, what? Cybersecurity startups, once the VC venture capital darlings, hampered by, and this is June 29th. So this is a forecast of what's happening now. Layoff tracker, layoff.fyi, well, that looks like it'd be interesting. It says that almost 13,000 tech workers lost their jobs in June alone compared with these layoffs are happening despite startups raising huge amounts of cash, with VC investments continuing to increase year over year. Why would, oh no, wait a minute, and now it mentions IronNet. This is in June. This is in June. June 29th, 2022. A year and a quarter ago. Wait a minute. On Friday, Virginia-based network security company announced plans to let go of 55 workers, or 17% of its workforce, less than a year after filing to go public and be listed apparently on the New York Stock Exchange. IronNet stock price is down by almost a half. Why would they do that? You would think with those big shots in there, they could get contracts everywhere. Or maybe they do, but they're not producing results. Or maybe the Israelis are outselling them because they can. The real people who understand cybersecurity know, I don't need a former NSA director. I need somebody who did it for the Israeli army against the Iranians trying to kill them. IronNet's stock price went down by a half. The workforce reduction is part of a broader plan to streamline our operations for higher efficiency. That means they're going down the drain. That's what that wording means. Not because I've heard, how many, in my work life, how many times have I heard that just before they lock the doors? That's why the CFO of that local company was down on the production floor, which is not his function, trying to make it efficient enough so that they could apparently turn a profit. Higher efficiency. Streamline our operations. Oh, we're going to get rid of the deadwood. To reduce overall expenses. That means they don't have any income coming in. And preserve cash. Banks don't want to give us any more loans. And to set IronNet up for rationalized growth going forward, said Joseph P. Deppa III, told, let's find out who he is. I like that, the third. The layoffs at IronNet are the latest in a long line of layoffs across the sector. Okay, so how come the Israeli companies are still doing so well? Let's just stray and see who this guy is. Joseph P. Adepta III, PR social media pro, award-winning reporter, magazine editor, SM manager at Belden, corporate communications manager, Hickory, North Carolina. Hey! Award-winning journalist and editor, so they hired somebody who really knows how to award-winning they write this about themselves. Journalist and editor, experienced corporate communications, public relations manager, skilled content creator with expertise in helping C-suite level executives develop clear and compelling. Do you see what it says? Do you see what his skill is? C-suite, that's the corporate, those are the CEOs, CIOs, CFOs, C-suite. CFO, CIO, CEO, Chief Executive Officer, Chief Financial Officer, C-suite level executives develop clear and compelling messages to influence external and internal audiences. What did that Glassdoor thing say? They're out of contact. The C-suite people are out of contact to influence external and internal audiences across multiple platforms and build positive media profiles. Is that the same as a successful technology strategy and product line? No, that's propaganda. He's a propaganda specialist. Cover up. More than 20 years ago. Have you got the picture, folks? Now, I just took this little excerpt from TechCrunch that's showing up on there, and we explored it. And the way I found the real answer to what's going on is I just put IronNet, criticism of IronNet cybersecurity. And it took me to Glassdoor, and the people on the inside are saying the guys at the top are utterly incompetent. And I'm going to, as a closing note, I'm going to contrast it again. Go back and look at my videos where when I went and checked on these Israeli companies, they're in little offices in Tel Aviv and Ramat Gan and places like that, that invariably they are young, they've all been in the army, they've all been in the cyber command of the Israel Defense Forces. They all got their start playing with computers in high school and junior high. None of them, not any of them, ever was a major general, a brigadier, running a whole army like the Air Force or the Army or the Navy. They were all low-level people who were experts at cyber security for the life and survival of Israel. And what do we know about the National Security Agency and all that politics? I would say what happened to IronNet might have been completely predictable from the beginning. But who am I? I'm just an idiot running my mouth. I'm just an idiot running my mouth. Steve AB4 just letting his mind wander, but brainstorming it at the same time. Saying, see you in 73.